Good evening, everyone. Whew, that was loud. My name is Nicole Malinowski, and I'm the principal at Cumberland Valley High School. I'm here tonight to welcome the class of 2026 and their parents to CVHS. And one message that I want to make clear that when you leave tonight is that it is essential for us as administrators, both the staff here at CV9 and the staff in our 10 to 12 building, that your students at the 9th grade academy feel a part of Cumberland Valley High School. So we will do things throughout the year to ensure that your students have that real high school experience. We value the experience that they're going to have here at CV9. They're going to come together as one big family, learn a lot of essential skills next year, and then move into the 10 to 12 building as successful young adults. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Martin. He's going to do some introductions. He's our associate principal here at CV9. But one final thing, today is the first day, students, of the rest of your life. Some of the discussions that you'll start tonight with your parents and that parents you'll have with your children will definitely impact your future. So please take everything that we say seriously. Thank you and welcome.
Hi everyone, how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you so much for coming. It's nice to see people face to face and be able to share some really good information that is important. I am the least important person here tonight. The counselors are the most important tonight to share a lot of information, and also Mr. Robinson about scheduling. This is quickly our agenda, so we'll do some quick introductions. It's really the focus is on course selection and the scheduling process and what that timeline looks like. And then once we're done, you guys have a map in front of you, and it shows where all the content areas are around the building. So when you go out the doors here or out that way, either way, you can do like a horseshoe loop around all the way down to the Fireplace Commons, where there's content supervisors, department leaders, some teachers here if you have any questions at all. We also have a student table where you picked up your handout, and there's two students that they're on our student council group, and they are willing to, if you have any questions about CV9, please ask them. They'll give you the real answer. I told them to tell you whatever's in their heart, so I have no idea what they're going to tell you. Whatever question you ask about what the experiences they have, please do it, because we want the best for our kids, and we want our kids to have the best experience here at CV9 Academy. I'm Mr. Martin. My most favorite person to work with is Mrs. Staten right here. We are the administrators here at the building, and we work really closely with our guidance counselors. We have Ms. McGuire and Ms. Bayshore. We are a team that works closely together with a lot of things that go on with students' lives. So they're a great resource. We also have Mrs. Weary here tonight. She can stand up. She is she's the supervisor for the counseling department. And then the scheduling guru is Mr. Robinson, and he's going to share the process. He's been doing it a long time, and I think it'll be helpful for you and at least get some seeds planted. Our bell schedule looks like this. It is on the website. Day starts at 7:35. It ends at 2:35. We have 3 lunches. The lunches are a half an hour. And we also, it's a 7-period day, and then period 8 is a resource period. We call that Eagle Academy. And I'll share a little bit more about what that looks like. So that's the day. Okay. Also, this PowerPoint we'll put on our website and get it out to you. So because I feel like I'm going really fast. So I want you to know that I am so proud of our staff here at CV. Our teachers are awesome. They're kind, they're caring, they work hard with the kids. all our staff members, whether the teachers, educational assistants, our cafeteria workers, our custodians. I mean, they're really, it's a great staff. I feel so fortunate to be part of that. So the ninth grade academy right now is, what's great about it is it's a smaller environment. I was at the high school for many years, and we would see ninth graders coming in and they kind of get lost in the mix. That doesn't happen here because it's a smaller environment. We can keep track of things and catch up with things much faster. So that's a good part of it. And we have some additional supports that are very helpful, and I'll talk a little bit about each one of those. Our Eagle Academy, the purpose of that at the end of the day is 3 focuses. We have academic days. 1 day a week we have our freshman seminar course. And then there are times during that time frame where we'll have class meetings where we'll bring kids into the auditorium, Mrs. Staten and I, and we'll have conversations with the kids. And it could be other people involved in that conversation with the class meetings. The academic days, really, this is really just an opportunity during that time for students to get help. It's almost, we put them in advisory groups, so they're with that teacher the entire time, and they don't have a class with that teacher possibly, but that teacher's there to build a relationship, work with them, and also that's a time when they can go out and get help with their content teachers or maybe their art teacher or another elective to finish up a project or what have you. They can make up tests. It's just opportunities for them to get help. And it's working. It really is. Our freshman seminar course, it was developed by teachers. We put this together before we started this year. It's a work in progress. It focuses on social emotional learning, strategies to be a self-advocate for yourself, test-taking strategies, things like that are good. It's for the kids themselves to really become better and improve. Some of them have certain skills, more skills than others, but it's an opportunity to hear these things and get help, and we're working through that, and we're going to try to improve that every year. Class meetings I kind of talked a little bit about. Like for example, this year, right after the holidays, Mrs. Staten and I, we spent time over the holidays and we said we need to talk about a few things with our kids that are really important, that we recognize some trends that they need to hear about so we can help and guide them. And so we brought them in and had that conversation with them. So they can be very beneficial. All right, I'm going to now pass it off to our counselors. Ms. McGuire is going to start. Thank you very much.
All right, so I'm Ms. McGuire. ACES stands for Academic, Career, College, Emotional, and Social Development. This is a course that your students will take with either myself or Ms. Bayshore, depending on their end of the alphabet. They're taking a similar course right now in middle school, so they'll continue taking it with us. They will have 10 classes throughout the school year. 5 will occur in the fall, and 5 will occur in the spring. So we are actually currently meeting with our current 9th graders, and we're going over some course selection information, and we're also going to be doing some work on Naviance. So other things that we discussed during ACES, the high school transition, we go over growth mindset, healthy relationships, so this is relationships with friends, family, themselves. We go over VOTEC opportunities, different resources and supports that are available both in our building and throughout the district. So mental health resources, academic resources. We go over career pathways and ways to self-advocate and set goals. We work on a 4-year plan with them when we are doing course selection, so that's what we're currently doing with our students now. So course selection information. In order to earn a CV diploma, your student needs 23 total credits to graduate. They need 4 credits in English. So for most students, it'll be an English credit a year. 3 credits in social studies. These courses include world history, American government and economics, and U.S. history. 3 credits in science, which include environmental science, biology, and chemistry. 3 credits in math. So wherever your student is currently at in math in 8th grade, they'll take the next path in 9th grade and so on. And then 2 additional credits in science, math, and/or social studies. As we're working on a 4-year plan with your students, we'll help them decide what those 2 additional credits might be based on where they want to be after high school or what they're planning on doing. And then they need 1.5 credits in health and PE. Our health and PE classes are semester long, so it's every day for half of the year. So they take 1 in 9th grade, and then they'll have to take 2 additional between 10th and 12th grade. They need to score proficient on state assessments, so our keystones. They'll need to take Algebra 1, biology, and literature. And then they need 8 career activities by the end of 11th grade. So we do 3 of these during ACEs. In 9th grade, we do at least 2 in 10th grade ACEs, and then the other 3 we will help them achieve as well. So this is on our district website. This is our course selection information that you have access to. So when you're accessing this on our website, you'll go to schools, high school, and then this tab here is scheduling and program of studies. For CV9, you have access to the entire program of studies right here. When you click on it, it'll take you to the entire program of studies. I'm just going to scroll a little bit here. Has our course information. So as you get further down, still pathways, hold on. So for example, we're in math right now. It'll give you the course description, what your student might need in order to take that class, etc. We also have, on that website there's course sheets. This is an example of what the course sheet looks like. It has all of our different courses that we offer at CV9. Your students have sheets that they were given by their middle school counselors, so that's another type of sheet that they can utilize as well. Middle school credits. If your student is currently enrolled in Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, or a level 1 or 2 of world language, or they've previously taken them during middle school, these credits will go on their high school transcript, and they will receive credit towards their 23 credits needed for graduation. These courses will not count towards their GPA or class rank, but again, will count towards their 23 credits. If they took one of the math courses, these can count towards their 2 additional math classes needed for graduation. These are the 9th grade courses that your student will enroll in. They will need English 9, Social Studies will be World History, Environmental Science, and their next level of math. And they're currently talking with their core teachers about what level will be the most appropriate for them. They will be taking a health PE course. They're going to be taking ACEs, freshman seminar, and they'll pick 1 to 2 electives. This is our current list of electives that we offer here at CV9. A lot of different types of classes. We have different music ensembles. So for example, we have guitar. If you have never played guitar, you can still join it. Marching band is for any student who does color guard, plays an instrument. That's a 1/4 credit. We have our world languages. So we offer French, German, and Spanish. We have different family consumer science ones. We have business, art, and then there's some possible required electives. You might have literacy or reading or ESL support. So different ones that you're required to take based on your programming. So how many credits should a student schedule? They should be scheduling a maximum of 7 credits. The additional credits come from ACEs and Freshman Academy. I'm going to pass it off to Ms. Bayshore.
So that kind of covers what they choose. We have generally 3 different course levels for the core classes. Hopefully right now your students' teachers are talking to them and talking to you and looking over how they are doing in the core classes and choosing a level for next year. Level 1, we usually call them Level 1, Level 2, and Level 3. Level 1 would include AP classes, college and the high school, and an honors level. Level 2 is our college preparatory academic, and then Level 3. It's really nice to have these. You're not choosing one level for across the board. You're choosing the level for each different course. It's wonderful because you can cater your students' schedule to their interests and abilities. So if they struggle in an area, might need a little bit more support, you can go into the lower levels. If they're doing really well or really interested in another level, you might be able to challenge them. So each schedule is going to look a little different. It should really suit your child and their needs and abilities. They are not stuck in this level. If they are taking, a level 2 class and they have a great year and they really like it and they're improving for the next year, as you see at the end of each year in course selection, they get to kind of discuss those recommendations and look at those levels. So it can really just kind of mold their schedule into what is best for them. So level 1, these are the expectations for each level. Level 1, especially in those AP and college and the high school levels, they are going to have to be a very independent learner. Come home, self-start, great time management skills, the executive functioning skills. They can organize themselves, problem solve, do a lot of that work on their own. Most of these classes do involve summer work, so they need to be aware that if they schedule one of these courses the summer before that, they are going to have some projects and readings and assignments to do before the class starts to get them prepared. They need to think critically and apply skills. So a lot of times I hear students saying things like, well, the teacher didn't teach that and it showed up on the test. That is, an expectation that they are taking the knowledge that they've learned, kind of using that and applying it to the test and some new problems. Level 2 does not have that summer work, but it's still going to be pretty fast-paced, pretty independent. And then level 3 is going to have a little bit more support, so they might start a project in class, finish it at home, start a reading in class, and finish it at home. At the 9th grade level, we mostly follow the rules. For English and math levels, they do have an honors course, a level 2, and a level 3 to choose from. Environmental science, they are only given 2 choices. It's the honors level or a level 2, level 3 combination. They differentiate within that class, so the students are given some opportunities to pick different methods of projects to kind of suit their needs. For social studies, they go the other way. There's actually 4 choices. So there is an AP choice. This is the first time your students are given the opportunity to take an AP class. As a freshman, that's quite an undertaking. It's a college level course. They can receive college credit at some universities for having certain scores on the AP test. So that can be a lot. So that's why they kept also the honors level choice for world history, and then there's level 2 and level 3. Again, they should be working with their teachers. The teachers are familiar with the 9th grade curriculum and expectations and should really be working with your student as to what level would be appropriate for them. The level 1 courses do come with a different weight. It can be a little confusing to students because it's just unique in how it works. An AP or college and the high school class is weighted at 1.13 and an honors class is weighted at 1.1. So if a student is taking world history and they receive an 87, that is their final grade. It goes on their report card, it goes on their transcript as an 87. If they are taking an honors class and they get an 87, it goes on their report card as an 87, it goes on their transcript as an 87. It goes into their weighted GPA as if it was a 96. So on their transcript, on their report cards, they get their final grades, a cumulative GPA, and a weighted GPA. If they were taking this in an AP class or a college and the high school class and it was an 87, it would go into their weighted GPA as if it was a 98. Why do we do that? It's just kind of a quick way to look at a report card or a transcript and see what the rigor of the schedule is. So if you look at that weighted GPA and it's jumped up quite a bit, you know they're taking a little bit more difficult classes. Can your child take too much? Absolutely. I like to take a little time on this. The transition to high school can be a rough one. They are meeting close to 400 new students. There's a lot of pressures, a lot of nerves, and we really want to make sure that they are gaining confidence and skills here in 9th grade. A lot of times they get kind of competitive. This is getting better and better, where they're kind of feeling like, if I don't take a million honors classes and shove my schedule full of things, I'm not going to get into college. Or for some reason, a lot of them feel like, well, I'm behind because I'm not taking all these classes. And that is not the case. We're really trying to encourage them to take the best classes for them and to kind of slow down. Moving to a 7-period day has really helped, where they're not feeling this need to just jam-pack their schedule. A lot of times students will get recommended for quite a bit of upper level courses, and they might be able to handle each of those courses on their own. But as the people that know them best, I'd ask that you sit with your child and look over their overall schedule and really think about their expectations. You know, what kind of extracurricular activities they do, how much time they can take studying, how much stress level that they manage. It's really nice to have kids come into high school, gain some confidence, feel like they're getting the skills. You know, we have a different late work policy at the high school where, you know, we really try and hold them to deadlines. That sometimes trips them up. And it's a lot nicer to have them say, I've had a really good year, I've done really well, I've learned the expectations, and you know what, I want to increase my levels. And that's what we want to see over the 4 years, that they are challenging themselves more and more. When they overload themselves and they come in, they get behind, they feel defeated, it's very frustrating, sometimes they quit, and they have a tough time digging themselves out of that hole. So we really do want to make sure that we're not just trying to jam-pack them full of upper level classes, that we're really thinking about it strategically, about what's best for them. So take a look at that, talk to the teachers, look at the overall schedule, talk to their counselor, and make sure, you know, that they've got a balance. PIAA is the organization that says if your student can play sports during high school. So they have to be passing 4 credits at all time to be eligible to play sports. They check this, I believe, every Wednesday, and they have till Friday to get their final grades in. If they are not passing 4 credits, they cannot play in their sport the next week. NCAA are the people that say if you can play sports in college or not. So if you have a pretty competitive athlete that thinks that maybe someday down the road they would like to play a sport in college, they do need to meet slightly different requirements through the NCAA. Just something to keep in mind, maybe meet with your counselor in 9th grade, 10th grade, just to make sure you understand what those requirements are. The Cumberland Perry Area Career and Technical School. This is formerly VOTech. It's called the CTC now. We are very fortunate that it is right around the corner from the high school and not far from us. All students that go to the CTC spend their morning at the high school or at CV9. They spend periods 1 through 4. They eat lunch, they get on a bus, and they are at the CTC for the afternoon and for social studies. If you haven't had an opportunity to go see the CTC, I would recommend they do an open house in November. So 8th graders will all take a tour of the CTC. And then 9th graders in October, we have a presentation from the CTC, and then in November, there's an open house. They do some really amazing programs over there. They have some really incredible things going on. They are making more connections with colleges to have college credits awarded to their students and certifications where some students are coming out of the CTC making very good money and definitely in great job placement. They keep changing and growing their shops as well. Students in 8th grade are able to apply. The deadline was December 17th, so I'm sure that their counselors got that taken care of. It's a little more difficult for incoming 9th graders to get in because it has become so popular, but it is an option. And then in 9th grade, they will have another opportunity. They can apply in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. Most shops are 3 years, but that doesn't mean that you can't go and do partial shops. These are just some terms that you will encounter over the years. Naviance is going to be one right off the bat. As Ms. McGuire said, in ACES, we do some career activities that go towards their graduation requirements, and we utilize Naviance. It's a career and college search tool. They do use it in middle school, but we're going to use it quite a bit more in high school, so we really want them to get comfortable with it. It's really interesting if you ever get in there and kind of look around. They have a lot of information on careers. We will have them take the Myers-Briggs. I don't know if you've ever taken that, the Hollins Code, which is a career tool. And we have them do some strengths assessments and kind of find out their interests and abilities and match some careers to that and have them look into some different careers to try and get them excited about some options. Later on in their high school career, they will use Naviance to do college searching and to kind of manage their college applications. So it is important that they get familiar with it. The PSAT and the SAT and ACTs, those are all college placement exams. The PSAT 10 and 11 are practice. They will be options for your students in 10th grade, that's usually in the spring, and the PSAT 11 is in the fall. Great way to get some practice in. And then they can take the SAT and ACTs like 6 or 7 times throughout the year. I mean, they don't want to take them 6 or 7 times, but the option's out there for college placement exams. Internships, job shadow, co-op, those are opportunities as they become, most things open up as 11th graders, so just kind of to keep in mind. Internships, we have a lot of connections with engineering and hospitals, healthcare, athletic training, just different experiences where they can get actual practical hands-on experience. It's wonderful for them to go in. They might have a dream that they think something's going to be really, you always hear people say, I wanted to be a vet until I realized, you had to take blood and handle these animals, and then you're like, sometimes it's best to find out I didn't want to do that before you go and spend lots of money on it in college. So internships, job shadows, those are all really wonderful ways to get some experience that you can look forward to. Skyward, hopefully you're familiar with that. Mr. Robinson's going to share the actual course selection process. That is done on Skyward. It's where your attendance is, grades, wonderful stuff. Schoology. We have definitely utilized that quite a bit in the past 2 years. It is used quite a lot in high school. The teachers have kept the agendas. It's really a wonderful place for you to go and see. You can see what's happening Monday through Friday. This is what we did today. Here's the links. You can see the most current grades and assignments. It's really kind of been a nice tool that the teachers are still using. College and the high school and dual enrollment are our opportunities here at Cumberland Valley, where college and the high school, you can take a class in the building with our Cumberland Valley teachers and receive college credit for it at a much cheaper price than you would be. So it's a good deal if that's something that your student is interested in. Dual enrollment would be going to HAC or a close college and getting credit there. All right, Mr. Robinson is going to share the scheduling process.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for holding your applause. I'm Mr. Robinson. I'm the associate principal at the 1012 building, and I just was doing some really high complex math over there, and I realized that your 8th graders were going into kindergarten when I first started building the master schedule. So maybe that's a good thing, maybe not. That's probably why I don't have any hair. My purpose tonight is twofold. Number one, I want to just briefly explain to you the scheduling process, show you a little bit about your role in it. But the biggest part is that I really want to explain to you why we're asking you and your students now in January to make decisions that we're going to hold you to starting next September for the entire school year. I know how that sounds because I have a teenager at home that I had to do this with just last year. The reason why we have to make these decisions now and then say no when teenagers invariably want to change their minds later is because we have to build a schedule that is fair and equitable for everyone. That takes a long time, and it takes a real balance between the needs of our students and our programming and the resources that we have available. We no longer have the ability to have lots and lots of extra sections in any of our buildings because we simply have a lot of students and a lot of needs, and we don't have limitless resources. So I'm going to show you now a little bit about the schedule process so you can understand why we're doing this now in January and why we're not doing it maybe a little bit later. All right. So what's been happening now? Hopefully your students have been coming home and talking to you about the conversations that they're having with their 8th grade teachers in the core subjects and world languages. Those are the courses that 8th graders are having recommendations put in by their teachers for next year. For the most part, your students will be in the same level that they are now. However, some students may need more support, or some students may be able to be pushed, and so they're going to have a course recommendation based on the level that their teacher determines. I know that we know our children best at home, for better or for worse, but the best people who are prepared and qualified to make a recommendation for our children in academics is their teachers. Their teachers know their strengths and weaknesses, and the teachers actually know the curriculum best and what's going to happen in the following year. So that's why, for the most part, those teacher recommendations that are being put into Skyward and that you'll see likely on Monday, that's why those really are in there, and we're not going to change them willy-nilly, and those are likely going to be the courses that your students are in. Okay, so what happens next on Monday? And maybe Tuesday for Eagleview. Sorry, quick side note. For some reason, Skyward isn't allowing the Eagleview teachers to get in and do the course recommendations, so we had to do a separate process, but we believe that that will still be ready for Monday. If it isn't, we'll communicate with you and it'll be available on Tuesday. It will be okay. My apologies in advance, but the process should be the same. From either Monday or Tuesday until February 13th, parents and students will be able to go into Skyward and see all those course recommendations that the teachers have put in. They'll also see a couple courses that we've already pre-populated for the 9th graders, which is their health and PE class, their ACES class, and their freshman seminar class. You'll be able to review those recommendations, and most importantly, you'll also be able to round out the schedule by selecting from the courses that are available. And I believe there is a handout for that on your way in. I'll briefly go through it now. It's on our it will be on our website, and we'll send it out to the students via Schoology. So hopefully between all those different resources, you'll be able to see how to do it. So what happens after those course recommendations or course selections have been made is that we build a schedule in March and April. We take all those thousands and thousands of course requests and all those different courses. We give them to the various supervisors and department leaders. They look at the teachers who they have available. They look at the programs that they have available, and they start to create what we call a recipe, which is, we're going to need 7 sections of level 2 algebra. We're going to need 3 sections of this. We're going to need 4 sections of that. We don't have enough requests to run this class. All those kinds of decisions are being made based on those course requests that folks have put in. And the reason why we don't allow changes is because those course requests are forcing some pretty tough decisions. Sometimes we're not able to run a class that we want because we don't have enough course requests. Sometimes we run a class that has maybe 17 course requests because it's really important, but if we allow 8 people to leave, then that may be a section of a class that we can't offer, because once we build the schedule, we can't undo it. After the schedule is built in March and April, we will actually run the schedule. We'll run the students through. And at that point, if I've done my job relatively well, we'll have about 80 to 85% of the students whose schedules are met just by the computer. It's awesome. Like, yay, it's fantastic. But the other 15% of those students' schedules are in conflict, and so we give the counselors the whole month of May, the current counselors, to meet with students, to make tough decisions, to contact parents, and to really work through all those scheduling conflicts so that our goal is for all students to have a schedule. I've done this long enough to not give a specific date. I say between June 1st and July 1st. Our preference is earlier, But we're going to have everyone's schedules ready so that going into the summer, everyone knows what summer work they need to do. Everyone knows what their schedule is going to be the following year. So, just a reminder, why do you need to understand the scheduling process? Because we know that the schedule process has to happen when we have everyone together. If we want the schedules ready in June, that means we have to give the counselors May to resolve the conflicts. If we want the counselors to have those conflicts in May, we know we have to build the schedule in April. We have to create those sections in March. We have to get the course requests from students and parents in February, and get the course recommendations from teachers in January. That's why we start the process now, because we need to finish it before the summer. If we don't finish it before the summer, it means that you all are gone. Your students are not there. The counselors don't work 12 months. The teachers don't work 12 months. So all the people who know your students and can answer all these questions are now not working and spread out, and it's really, really difficult to resolve conflicts and build a schedule in the summer. I know that because we did it last summer, and we did it a couple summers before when we had other issues. So that's why we start so early, so we can have that equitable and balanced schedule built for all of our students, so that going in the summer, everyone knows what they're doing the following school year. Okay, there's not going to be a quiz. I don't expect you to understand this, but I just want to show you briefly what the process is. If for some reason you have a current high school student, 9 through 12, you actually did this last year. It's one of the few things that's the same. So that's a good thing. You will note that the year is wrong. That's just because I am lazy and use the same copy, the same screenshot from last year. When you go into, on Monday, or whenever it becomes available for you, Monday or Tuesday, you'll go into Skyward Family Access, just like you do to do an attendance event, and you'll see a tile. It'll be green. It will say Course Request Cumberland. I didn't choose it. Just click on it. It's green. And when you go in there, there's a very simple interface. It's two sides, left and right. On the right side, you're going to see the courses that have already been selected for your student, and you're going to see any courses that you've selected. You'll see a counter. It's going to give you maximum credits of 7. The computer is not going to allow you to schedule over 7 credits. You can try, but it won't let you. And on the left-hand side will be a list of the courses that are available for your student to choose from. You can search by course code, which is on those handy-dandy course worksheets that you're all going to download. You can search by course description. Skyward's not very smart, so you have to spell it the exact way with the asterisks and everything, so I wouldn't recommend that, but you can try. You can sort by description. You can sort by subject. Ultimately, the best thing is to use the course code off of those scheduling sheets from the program studies. You see there's an add button. You highlight the course that you want to add. You add it. It slides into the right. It updates the total. If you don't like it, just click on it and choose remove. You can see the remove button. You can play with that all you want. You'll notice, and again, there's no quiz, so this information will be sent out to your students. It's on the website. There's even a video. If you're transfixed by my voice like no one else is, you can watch the video and listen to my voice telling you all these things again. There's an alternates tab. The alternates tab, unfortunately, doesn't magically replace the course that isn't met with the alternate, but it is a list that the counselor is going to use to help resolve your schedule conflict. So there are always courses that more people want than we can offer. That's just how it works. And so if a student fills in the alternates, that makes it really easy for the counselor to say, oh, the student didn't get the culinary class, but I see their alternate is digital art. I'm going to slide in that digital art. That's helpful. It's not required, but it's really helpful. It's also an advantage because the counselor can resolve that conflict right there. They don't have to wait and set up a meeting with the student or call you or send an email and wait. And by that time, possibly the alternates may also be filled up. Actually had a really great year in terms of meeting the needs. It might not seem logical, but the ninth graders, when they scheduled at the high school, very rarely did ninth graders get their first choice. Many didn't even get their second and third choice because the scheduling software prioritizes the upperclassmen. So upperclassmen would gobble up all the electives, and ninth graders really never got their choices. And so one of the benefits that we have in the ninth grade academy is that they're not competing with the upperclassmen. So our ninth graders actually really, for the most part, had their desired electives in the schedule. But regardless, please make sure, if you want, not required, to select a couple of alternates. As I said before, when you add it, if you want to delete it, you just highlight on the right and hit the remove button. It just takes it out, changes your totals, and you move forward from there. There is no save button, but there is a submit course request button, upper left-hand corner. When you click that, it saves it. It doesn't set it in stone. You can go back and change any of your selections at any time in the window. You can never go in and change our selections for you, but you can go in and change the selections that you made. So if you get interrupted, if you only do a couple and want to have a conversation, if you have to go make dinner, it's fine. Just hit the submit course requests and then go back in later and finish it out. So that's the end of my piece. Thank you for your time, and Mr. Martin will finish out this part of the evening.
Okay, so what we have up there is all the different content areas that you can now go and have conversation with supervisors. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. I want to thank you for coming. Take a look at your map and go to if you have any questions, the guidance counselors are going to stay here. If you have any questions for them, don't forget about our 2 students if you want to ask questions. And we'll be here and enjoy the rest of your time. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.